right, so good morning, everyone. I see a lot of people logging in over the last few minutes. All right, so the E-mini and the NASDAQ right now have been moving up on green bars, green signal line. 60-minute charts are green. Your best trades are going to be when you get the E-mini and the NASDAQ moving in the same direction based on the... Okay, so the NASDAQ, you can see, formed a consolidation bar. It's moving lower right now, too. E-mini has taken a short trade. Okay, so E-mini is short on the TradeBrain. NASDAQ is still consolidating. All right, so E-mini can either exit your position entirely or take off most of your profit. See, the NASDAQ starting to move up. Okay, NASDAQ just took a long position. So E-mini would be either flattening or only leaving on a small position. All right, so you can see the NASDAQ is moving higher. Again, NASDAQ, if you're trading multiple contracts, you could take off part of your profits. Okay, so E-mini on the TradeBrain flattened, and NASDAQ's moving up. All right, so a good example here, money to be made in both directions. So NASDAQ's moving up, but we'll wait and see. As long as we keep getting green bars, green signal line, we know we're moving up on the NASDAQ on the Renko chart. Now the NASDAQ on the daily chart, you can see it's made that pullback, so you certainly could have people stepping in here on that pullback to take new long positions. Sometimes when you see that, you could see the NASDAQ move up the entire day. You don't really know. All right, so NASDAQ just moved the trailing stop up. See, the NASDAQ is really moving. You can see the E-mini is not really participating too much so far. All right, so not too bad here for just 10 minutes into the open. E-mini, if you took profits fairly quickly, you should have been profitable on that trade. NASDAQ still moving higher right now. All right, so NASDAQ continuing to go higher. E-mini right now forming a consolidation bar on the Renko chart. All right, so right now on the NASDAQ, you can see the trailing stop is at 64.51 1/4. All right, so right now you can see the E-mini looks like it's coming down. So it would also be an indication that you probably want to take some profits on the NASDAQ right now, about $620. All right, so now the E-mini continues to go lower. I would expect a new sell signal on the E-mini. But if the NASDAQ keeps going higher, it will tend to hold the E-mini up. All right, so NASDAQ trailing stop right now, 64.59. 64.59 3/4. So locking in about 22 points on the NASDAQ on the trailing stop. All right, NASDAQ right now is forming a consolidation bar, so it's kind of an early warning sign of a potential reversal. Doesn't mean it's absolutely going to move down, but it's kind of it's definitely an early warning sign. So right now you're locking in about 22 points on the NASDAQ just on the trailing stop. NASDAQ 60-minute chart, you see it moved right up to that blue line that we had drawn on its 60-minute chart. So E-mini and NASDAQ both consolidating right now in the Renko charts. E-mini just broke above a consolidation bar. All right, NASDAQ trailing stop 64.64 right now. And see, this is a good example of why I mentioned a lot that don't try to trade against the color of the charts. Okay, so NASDAQ just moved the trailing stop to 64.68 1/4. NASDAQ on the 60-minute chart is actually breaking above that blue line. All right, so NASDAQ now breaking above some resistance, so it would usually imply another leg up. You can see if you look at the daily chart, you can see we pulled back on the daily bit. Now we're looks like we're coming in as a buying opportunity, at least so far today. All right, so NASDAQ on the 60-minute chart had been in a downtrend. Right now you can see it appears to be switching back to an uptrend. All right, so right now look at your bar color and signal lines in both the E-mini and the NASDAQ, both green. So as long as they're both green, then it's still most likely direction is going to be up. All right, so you can see the NASDAQ's the big mover on the upside here today. E-mini has also gone higher along with the NASDAQ. E-mini 60-minute chart, you can see still I would call that an overall downtrending chart. NASDAQ, let's take a look at the NASDAQ 60-minute. All right, so NASDAQ today showing quite a bit of strength. Just a kind of an informal observation on my part too. It seems like Mondays I've seen, generally speaking, at least over the last several years, Mondays and Fridays seem to be days when the market tends to move higher. Okay, so NASDAQ trailing stop right now is 64.68 1/4. So right now locking in approximately 30 point on the trailing stop. All right, so the NASDAQ trailing stop now 64.7250. We may see a trend day higher here, meaning we trade from low to high. Typically, the market will close out near the high of the day when this happens. We'll see if that happens. We obviously won't know until the trading day is over with. You can see too on most all these signals, if you can trade multiple contracts and take off some profits early on but leave other contracts as runners, it's going to work to your benefit. All right, so right now NASDAQ trailing stop locking in about 38 points. All right, so E-mini and NASDAQ continuing to move in the direction of the color bars and the signal line. Kind of as a general point too on your chart, such as a 60-minute chart, you can see we talk about a lot where we get consolidation and we break above or below consolidation. So this morning, you see that the NASDAQ made a move lower, consolidated, and obviously broke a lot higher out of that consolidation. So some of your safest trades are going to be when, let's say for example, the NASDAQ continues to move up and at some point we consolidate and we get some very tight range bars on the 60-minute chart, then look to see which way we move out of that fairly tight trading range. Also, you can see the NASDAQ, we've got green bars on the 60-minute chart. And as long as those bars are green on the 60-minute chart, then you've got a pretty strong probability of a move up. If the NASDAQ turns, at some point the NASDAQ will turn back to red power bars, and if you go below a red power bar, then you've got a very strong probability of a move down. But right now you can see everything's moving, continuing to go higher. All right, NASDAQ right now locking in trailing stop 64.85 and a quarter. All right, so NASDAQ continues to go higher. E-mini still looks like it's kind of consolidating